Hello and welcome to the WebDoPy channel. In this tutorial we are going to create this awesome layout. We will use Isotope plugin to filter and sort the layouts, to sort by ID, name and category. So let's get started. I have already connected Google Fonts plugins, Style CSS, Script.js and latest jQuery version. And also we need to install the Isotope plugin. And after installing we need to connect it from Node modules folder. And before listings we will create buttons for filter and sort. So I will say div with class button group wrap. And inside I will create heading filter. Inside of button group wrap I will create block with ID filters, and also I will set two classes button group and filter button group. And inside for buttons with data filters to show all, to show CMS, markup and programming. And also I will set BR tag, because the containers will have a display inline block. And in the same way for sorting, I will create div element with ID sorts and custom class sort by button group. To sort each box item, I will use data sort by attribute. So as for filters for sorting, we can also use original order. Also we will sort by number, name and category. And now let's work with box listings. I will create container with class box listing, and inside of it I will create box item for different tags, programming, markup and CMS. Also for each box item I will use data category attribute to define the category. So using data category attribute we can sort by category. Also inside box item I will create item name, item ID and item category elements. So in total I will create 9 box items with specific data category, with specific item name, item ID and item category. Also these classes markup, CMS and programming are added for filters. And after we have finished with HTML, let's start with CSS. I will set styles for body. Font family will be Poppins, color the same as the background of body. Also I will set styles for button group wrap. For h3 heading I will set display inline block, color white. And margins. Also we need to add container for filters, we need to fix this. And after we fix this, our filters should display correctly. And of course this should be the wrapper, so we will have two blocks inside the button group wrap. And the last styles I will add for button group is each button group will have display inline block and margin bottom 20. And now let's stylize the buttons. I will add min width 50 pixels because we may have very small width of the buttons. Also let's set the background. Also I will add margin minus 75 because I want to have a very small gap between buttons. Okay, and let's do this. Also I will set border 1 pixel. And as always cursor pointer, a little transitions and as always hover effects. For hover effect I will set a light blue background. Also I want to set for first child and for last child the border radius. So for first and last buttons we will have a little border radius. And let's do this. And in the same way for last child button. So now let's work with box items. For each box item I will calculate the width, also will set height 90 pixels, background color white, a little border radius, a little box shadow, and obviously we need to set styles for h3 heading, item ID and also for category. For h3 heading I will set font size 22 pixels, font weight 60 and text align center. However, item category I want to locate over here, so it will have a position absolute. I will set top and right position, font size will be 14 pixels, standard font weight. Also for each category item I will set custom background color, so I would say it will be displayed as a text. Okay, and also before finishing with styles, I want to initialize the Isotope plugin. So let's initialize the Isotope plugin. I will set var listing equals box listing container. We use jQuery to initialize Isotope plugin. The first option is item selector. It defines the container of the box item. Next option is layout mode. In our case it fit rows. So as you can see, our layout displays correctly because we have initialized the Isotope plugin. Also, Isotope plugin has a get sort data option, and inside of this option we will set number, name and category. We will use the item ID selector, item name and data category attribute from the box item. And to make it work, we need to bind the sort button click. So let's do this. I will set the variable sort value that will have inside the attribute data sort by. So I will say listing Isotope. And we will use sort by option. And I will pass sort value variable. Also we need to fix the HTML inside the buttons. For number we will say the ID. For name we will say name. And category is correct. And now let's test the sorting. So as you can see, we have original order. Now we have sorted by IDs, by ascending. Also we can sort by name and by categories. So as you can see, we have CMS, markup and programming grouped. So for programming tag I will set aquamarine background, and for CMS the blue background and white color of text. And finally for markup category box item I will set the red color. And the next thing we need to do is to stylize the item ID. I want to display it over here with position absolute and violet background. So let's do this. So item ID will have a position absolute, left and bottom 0, the width 50 pixels, height 35 pixels, margin 0, background violet, color white, a little padding 10 pixels, also border radius 5 pixels, but only at the bottom left and top right, and also box shadow violet. Okay, and let's test how it looks. So it seems we have finished with styles, and final step we need to do is to define the filters, and the final step we need to do to bind filter button click. So it means when we click on the filters section button, we will get the data filter value, we will fetch the data filter attribute into the filter variable, and we will use the listing Isotope method with option filter and filter value provided. Let's use Isotope method, filter option and filter value variable. And now let's test the filtering. So as you can see, we have show all option, the CMS option, markup, programming. We can also use filters and sorting in the same time. So now we have applied programming, and we can sort this also by ID, by name and category we have. So it works. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, share video with your friends. As always, all code is in the GitHub repository, and welcome to my next tutorials.